Morning, beloveds. It's me. Okay, let's see. This is number 28, I think. So I always am interesting to see what comes. Today I wanted to share something. It's morning. I got up. As you see, I'm just out of bed. I'm just here. I have my little cup of tea, my second one today. And I was in the kitchen, and I have a beautiful young woman staying in the house with me at the moment. Her name is Pia, but I call her Pi. So because that's how I pronounced her name, and she's okay with that. So basically, I suppose that's my name, my way of saying the name. This morning she was making breakfast in the kitchen, and I went to go out to feed the cat and get the tea and to do everything. And we just started chatting, as it seems to happen here in the house. And what I was trying to explain, or not even explain, what was coming, was how valuable she was and how beautiful she was. And what a gift it is to have her living in the house here. What it is to have somebody who is simply comfortable in their skin, who is being themselves, and what a maturity that is in the being. And she turned around and she said, "But Suchira, I'm not anybody, I'm not anybody." And I said, "You don't understand that to be a nobody to be simple is one of the most beautiful spiritual aspects." Now, as we mature, as we go through the processes of evolving and becoming refined, we will go through all sorts of stages. We will, first of all, we will just be normal with our families and doing what we're doing, and then suddenly we'll start questioning things maybe, and then suddenly we can't be the same with the family, we can't be in the same situations, and so that moves us to go somewhere else and do something else. And then that takes us wherever on a journey. And in that journey, we find some ways, some methods, some meditations, some practices, some groups, whatever. We find some experiences in life which help us to maybe slow down and touch in. In those experiences, to begin with, we go to the group or we do the meditation, and wow, fantastic, I feel great in the meditation, and we suddenly slow down and come to that space of, I would say, peace within the self, or a sense of space within the self, which is more relaxed. This is a continuing process. In the beginning, we go to the group and we feel great, wow, and even if the group is really hard and tough and brings a lot of stuff up, but at the end of the group we're often on an incredible high. Then we go home and we have to live our life, and sometimes then we can go down again because we've gone so high and we haven't got the support system there, and we feel a little bit alone. Now, this is all part of the maturing of the being. It is all ultimately so that we can find that space within us that is not disturbed by circumstances. Now, all these circumstances come towards us to give an opportunity for us to test us to see how we can walk through this also. And also, as one matures, one will have the tools will need to drop, because it will be in the ordinariness of the day-to-day living. And all things will come and go. There will be good times, there will be happy times, there will be sad times, there will be panic attacks, maybe there may be all sorts of things. The only difference is that the tools that we have used, the groups that we have done, the meditations that we have done, which are practicing meditation, they are not meditation, really. They are the practice of meditation. They are to help us to find this space which is inside, which is not disturbed. Now, if this pot gets rattled, of course the pot will be rattled. This is the body we live in. This is what it is. And once one starts to mature, one sees that you walk through these things, you move through them, you be in it, you be in the ocean, you are in the ocean. It's like if the ocean is stormy and whoa, 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 it's stormy. And if the ocean is calm and calm and calm and the sun is there, it's there. And if the sun is there, the sun is there. And if there's clouds in front of the sun, or there's a storm in front of the sun, or there's lightning in front of the sun, these are all there. But at the depth of the ocean, it is still, even with the storm going. Behind the clouds, behind the thunderstorms, behind all this, the sun is shining still. The sun is still there. But all these things come and they're all there for a reason. Look, we need thunderstorms. They bring rain, they bring water, they bring growth. They do a lot of things. They have a value. And the same with the seas. They have their reason to have thunderstorms and big storms and big waves, and they move things and get things. And sometimes there is calm waters. But at the bottom, underneath all this, there is calm. And this is very much like the spiritual growth. Ultimately, one knows these things can be happening on the surface. And one can also, or on the surface or on this pot, it's rattling. But one knows that within this, once one has found this space, and one keeps constantly being aware and to begin with visits this space, and you don't need any discipline necessarily to do it. You don't have to be in a group. You don't have to be with other people. You can be just lying in your bed and just come back and just be with yourself. Feel your body. Lie there. Feel the blessing of being in your bed with your blankets on, and I'm here and I've got a pillow and it's comfortable. And in this moment everything is fine. And be with the moments when you wake up and you can go to the toilet and maybe you can have a nice big shit and stuff, and you go, wow, this body is really functioning beautifully and I can eliminate what is not needed from this body and it's functioning. Some people can't do this, so isn't this beautiful that this body is working like this? Once we start realizing these things, we are not caught in the storm of it. We are not we can see it, and we can see this will also pass through. And then friend Pi said, but I'm ordinary, I'm not doing anything. And I said, Pi, do you not realize that when you are you, being you, that is what you pass on to everybody around you? Just by being around you is pleasant to be around you, because you're not like a frightened rabbit. I mean, sometimes somebody being in the house around me is difficult because I am an intense person sometimes to be around. But those that are in their maturity will actually enjoy it. So it's always interesting to see the response that people have to me in the house. And sometimes I am just sitting back and just being an invisible Suchira, just here. And sometimes there is some sharing that happens, like this morning. And it's what is pulled from me that comes. And some people that stay in the house, I am the nightmare, I am the most horrible person, because for them I'm intense. I'm not even intense, I can just be being myself, but that just to be around this energy can be intense. And if you are putting a false mask, that mask will dissolve, or it will be shattered, or somebody's trying to take your mask off and you say, no, I want my mask, I want my mask, I don't want it, I'm not coming out, I'm pretending to be happy. Or I'm pretending to be sad. But actually underneath, I am talking to what is real within you. I'm responding to the energy of the true. I'm not responding to the energy of what you are trying to show me, or what you're even kidding yourself that you're in. And I don't care whether you are there. You can be exactly where you are. It's not my business. I don't need to take your mask. You can keep your mask as long as you want. But this is a difference with somebody who is in maturity. They will be around you. They will see you. They will not, it will not be their business to change you. But being around them, you may change. It's like with Pia this morning, or Pi this morning. She doesn't understand that she mentioned something about plastic bags the other day. And for me, I knew what she was saying, and I was not using plastic bags. I was being aware to use less plastic. And suddenly, and she didn't say anything to me. She just said, oh, I don't think I can use those people's services because they use a lot of plastic bags. And I went, oh, okay. And she already planted another seed in me, which is now also evolving. So even the plastic I was using, I'm even using less plastic. So she gave me an incredible gift without even realizing she was giving me a gift, because it came from the maturity of her being, from her just being herself. So every time we passed that on, then I contacted the people that I was buying my products from who were putting things in plastic. And I explained to them that the reason that I wasn't ordering at the moment was because they were using quite a lot of plastic, and could we find a different way to do it? And they wrote back to me and said, yes, we can do something. And they have offered me a solution, and they are ready. And also they were grateful for the feedback. So if you look, it's already passed on and passed on and passed on. So even in the smallest actions we do, without even trying to do them, once you are aware, you will be affecting other people's life. You will be passing it on, and you will not even be aware that you're doing it, because it will be in the ordinariness of your day-to-day life. Anyway, this is my video. I'm going to drink my cup of tea. I'm going to check my internet and everything else. Maybe download this. And that's what it was today. You know? That everything, don't think it's just in the spiritual practices, when you go and do a meditation, when you go to church, when you do a group. This is all beautiful and valuable. But eventually, if it does not change the way in which you walk your life, you suddenly cannot do certain things anymore, then it is a beautiful lesson in the moment, but it has not shifted something. So when it is truly something valuable, you will find that you can no longer do things in the same old way. So have a look and see how you suddenly find you go into your life, and how this space affects everything in which you do. We've had 3 or 4 days of monsoon here, and everything's green and growing, and everything's a little bit damp, which is also good, but we are running a dehumidifier, and we are keeping dry and cozy in the house. We know how to do it. And life is beautiful. Really, life is so beautiful. Find the beauty in each moment. You know, it's like I was explaining to Pi, and it was interesting, but I said it's like an elevator. If you can imagine, at some stage you go up to the next floor. And once you're up the next floor, suddenly it's like, wow, I'm on the next floor. Great. And the elevator opens, and you go out into that next floor, you know, the first floor, and you go and you walk around and do what you need to do in that. And then you get back in the elevator again, and then you go up to the next floor, and you go, wow, there's all different things up here, and you get out and you walk up in that floor. It's not higher or lower, but it's just to give you an example. So this is how it is. When the shifts happen, you are aware of the shifts. They might be amazing, they might be strong, but eventually it becomes the mundane day-to-day walking of this, and you are no longer the same. So this doesn't go. You just are more aware of it when the shift happens, when the vibrational shift happens, or something comes, which it might be a difficult thing that comes and shocks you and moves you forward or moves you on the road. But it's like this lift. If you can imagine, every time you come to a different floor, it's a different level, it's a different seeing. But then it becomes ordinary. You know that floor, you know what's there and everything. So you think that it's not different anymore, but it is. You are then humming at a different level. You are sending off a different vibration. You are being more ordinary. And eventually you just become very ordinary. And ordinary is the most beautiful, because then you're just settled in your skin and you're just moving around this planet in an ordinary way. And you are caring not because you're trying to be caring, but you are caring. You will find that you can no longer do things in the same way, unconscious way anymore. Not because you're trying not to do them, but because you just can't do them anymore. So, love you. Have a beautiful morning, and this is number 28. So here we go. I'll post it later. Okay, love you heaps.